You know, I heckled him.
Did you?
I had
Who?
to.
Rickles.
Don Rickles. It was the end of his show, and he was just doing question and answering, and I was just way in the back, and I wasn't going to get to meet him, and I had to have an interaction with him.
Yeah.
So I just was in the back, and as he was talking, making everybody laugh, I just went, Donnie! And he didn't say anything. And I waited like another 5 minutes. He kept doing jokes, and then I just went, Donnie! And he just looked, and he goes, yeah, I know my name. and then my buddy, like, he hit me. He's like, okay, that was it. That's all I needed.
That was enough.
Yeah. People in front of me were mad at me and shit, and then afterwards I was like, wow, I just really did what...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I just did that.
Right?
Yeah.
So everybody's like, fuck, we can't bring up Sinatra, because, Rickles and Sinatra are pretty close.
Yeah.
Right? So, but finally I said, I'm going to fucking ask him, like at lunch, how Frank's doing.
Yeah.
So I go, listen, Don, man, I don't want to bum you out or anything, but, because he was on his deathbed and everything. I go, have you seen Frank? He goes, yeah, I saw him last week. It was a lot of this.
Spit coming out of his mouth.
And then he goes, no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of me 2 inches from his face going, I'm not Barbara. So I'm like, this guy's
So he wasn't that emotional.
Yeah, this guy is fucking real.
Right. So you...
I was in awe of Don Rickles, and at the end of the day, I got wrapped, and I'm leaving the show. And I went up to him and I go, Mr. Rickles, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Kevin Farley, and boy, I tell you, I'm just, kind of new to show business, and just being around you, and, it was just an honor of my life. And he goes, get out of here, you fag.
Yeah, you big crybaby. What's the matter with you?
You're very dressed up tonight.
That's
like
right.
that.
I heard you were talking about how Rickles, what he said about when he saw me.
Yeah,
when we were on the show.
Rickles, you guys were here together one night, and Rickles spotted you, and there was a bunch of people around, and Rickles yelled, hey, let's take up a collection and buy Adam a suit.
That's right. Man.
Is this what you got?
Yeah. This is the respect for the man. No, he was just the greatest guy. I mean, you really got to be tight with him. I had like hit and run, and I worshiped the guy too, because my father worshiped him. Anybody, like that's how it goes. Your dad loves somebody, you love somebody. So anyways, I was at dinner with Steve Buscemi. Mm-hmm. This is like 25 years ago or something. We're sitting at Dan Tana's and eating, and then Rickles came over to us, and we were like, oh my God, this is happening right now. And he says to Buscemi, something like, maybe 23, whatever years ago, he says something about, I saw your movie, Mr. Pink, more like Mr. Stink, or something like that, and Buscemi's like, laughing. And then he laughs, and he goes, ooh, maybe get some braces. Something like that. And then he sees me and he goes, ooh, and you. Wow. And I go, hey, how you doing? And he's like, I think it was Happy Gilmore or something. He goes, so Happy Gilmore, watch the whole thing. Wow, amazing how no talent can get you a movie. I was like, yes.
How are you? Well, I'm glad your ankle is better, because I know you hurt your ankle.
Oh, yeah, I pulled my tendon.
That's bad, right?
No, it's good. You like Rickles, right? No.
Did you play sports, or you was an athlete?
You like Rickles, right?
I love Rickles, yeah.
I did a movie with Rickles, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's so awesome.
Dirty work, right?
Dirty work, yeah. So it's so awesome. So awesome. And so he couldn't remember now. He couldn't remember any lines, So I'd go I'd write something that I thought sounded like Rickles. Like I'd go, hey, say, Don, say this to Artie Lang, say, Baskin Robbins called me today, and they're down to 3 flavors, So then he goes, look at you. He goes, Baskins and Johnson called me today. He goes, and you know what they told me? They told me you ate all their ice cream. All the ice cream. Tubs and tubs of ice cream. And now, they don't. It's like 45 minutes in. But this is the funniest, man.
You don't give Don Rickles lines.
I tell you, man.
You let him come up with his own.
You got to let him go.
Yeah, that's right.
But Rickles, man, he's the real deal.
He's the best. Yeah.
He's the funniest guy. And so that week, Sinatra was on his deathbed. Right? Frank Sinatra, Rickles', close friend,
Sure.
So at lunch, I was like, people were like, should we mention Sinatra? I don't think we should mention it, bum him out, So, but then I said, I don't want to ask him, So I said, hey, Frank, hey, Don, have have you talked to Frank lately, you know? And he goes, yeah, I saw him last week. There was a lot of this. Guy died 4 days later. And then I said, oh. And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a lot of me with my head 2 inches from Frank's face going, I'm not Barbara.
Well, Frank wouldn't have wanted it any other way, I have a feeling.
True. That's very true.
Funniest fan encounter? Funniest fan? Probably Rickles. Rickles. My girlfriend is quite a bit younger than me. You know the drill. And we were at a restaurant, and she's young, but she's, you know, she's growing. I mean, she's, you know, she's blossoming. This is her summer. And Rickles walks up to the table and looks at her and looks at me and goes, 12? She's 12? And then he says, have you been kidnapped, darling? Have you been kidnapped? Blink if you've been kidnapped. That was a funny encounter. It killed the sex because, you know, Don hit on her and left Barbara in the lobby. But he's my hero.
You became friendly with my friend, our mutual friend, Don Rickles, before he passed away. When is the last time you saw Don?
The last time I saw him was at the thing in New York, you know.
I see, the big show, yeah. And did Don ever, like, get a hold of you and insult you? Did he, I mean, I know you guys spoke and stuff, but did he let you have it?
No. Well, see, all I wanted was to be razzed by Don Rickles. You know?
Right, yeah.
I'd been waiting for years and got nothing. He was always so sweet. And at the New York thing, where we were at it was like a roast or something.
Yeah, it was a tribute. Yeah, right.
So I ran backstage to go see Don before he was coming out. I run back real quick, and he's sitting in a chair, and I said, hey, Don, I just want to let you know, I'm here and wish you luck and everything. He goes, John, you're here, and you're not late.
That's a pretty good Don Rickles, by the way.
Thanks.
Hey, listen. He would tell, he had a kind of a rotation of stories that he would go through, and if there's somebody new at the table, he would share those. What's your favorite of all of them? Maybe even one that, there were some that he only told with very small groups. Is there one that comes to mind?
Well, it'll be the Frank story. Why don't you tell it? You know everything.
He's told that story.
Everyone knows. I think that's probably the thing people know most about.
You know what I did? But you know, maybe this isn't what you're talking about, but I knew a secret, because we had the same audio-video guy, and all his passwords were Hitler.
No, actually, when we were...
Yeah.
Okay, a year ago, we were...
That's excellent.
Right?
That is a good piece of trivia.
That's really easy to figure out. We were at the Saban Theater, and he performed. And at that time, he couldn't stand. And so he was in the chair, and we were all there. And he got up one time in the act.
Let me tell you about a story so true. We're showing me style and it's all so cool. It's about a garment torn and frayed, getting his threads, the story conveyed. Walking down the streets with holes in my teeth. These ripped things here, part of me you see. It ain't about the brand or the label it holds. It's about the journey, the stories it unfolds. In these ragged clothes, I find my voice. A testament to resilience, my choice. From the streets to the stage, I rock my style. In my tattered shirt, I walk that mile. Ripped and torn, but still I stand in my ragged attire. I command, it's not just fabric, it's a statement I preach. In my threadbare garment, I find my reach. From the barrio to the bar, I make my mark. In my worn out jeans, I leave a spark. They may call it rags, but I call it art. In every stitch and tear, I play my part. It's the struggle of the streets, the hustle so real. In my tattered jacket, I seal the deal. A symbol of defiance against the status quo. My passion of pants, I let it show. It's not about the riches or the wealth I lack. In my faded hoodie, I stay on track. It's the heart of the hustle, the grind each day. In my worn out kicks, I find my way. Ripped and torn, but still I stand. In my ragged attire, I command. It's not just fabric, it's a statement I preach. In my threadbare garment, I find my reach. So here's to the ones with the clothes that tear. In our patched up attire we have, so let the world see our garments worn. For in our rags, our stories are born. In the language of the streets we speak. In our torn up clothes we find our peak.
One time, and it was planned, and it was to goose step.
He stood
Yeah,
up
he had to
and he put the mustache on. This is a man, he spent all of his energy to stand up in the chair, just to walk across the stage.
for a joke.
Just to goose step and go Yavol. I don't know.
Were you ever in a show where he does his act and said, and the Asian person over there, and the African American person there, and the Mexican person there, and the lights come up? There was no Asian person. There was no. Well, he might have been there.
And
Were you there, Guillermo?
Yeah, I was there, yeah.